Yesterday was the last day Cassie had to testify, and I can't lie to y'all, this was the worst day by far. They tripped her up so bad and caught her in so many lies, I actually started to feel bad for her. The defense straight shut her down. So look, one of the main points the prosecution keeps pressing is that Cassie was powerless. She was 19. Diddy was the label head, the money, the control. He basically had her life in a chokehold. And anytime she tried to break away, boom, he'd either reel her back in or do some wild violent-ish to make sure that she can't leave. That's the image they paint in court. Basically, they're trying to prove that Cassie didn't have any power in the situation. Everything she did was under pressure or straight up duress. If they can show that, then them so-called free will situations where Diddy had her messing with other men, that don't look consensual anymore. That's looking like trafficking. So the prosecution brought up one of the claims from Cassie's lawsuit. This one from back in 2018. By that time, her and Diddy had already split. She had started seeing Alex, the trainer Diddy originally hired for her, but somewhere along the way, Cassie and Dude got close and ended up dating. At the time, Cassie and Diddy were broken up, but she wanted closure, so they met for dinner. According to her, it went smooth and he dropped her off afterward. But the prosecution used this to push their power dynamic angle, saying Diddy still controlled her because he's still paying for her place and had a key to it. Cassie claims that he came in uninvited and violated her. But on cross-examination, that story fell apart. It made Cassie look like less a victim and more like she was playing chess to hit Diddy for his pockets.
They really are spending a lot of time trying to discredit Cassie. There's a couple things here. So Cassie had testified during direct about an alleged that happened in 2018. She said it was in August. Well, they pulled up transcripts and her lawsuit, her 2023 lawsuit, where she said that it happened in September of 2018. And this was after Diddy returned from Burning Man. And during direct, she said that occurred in August again, and that night he was trying to convince her to go to Burning Man. Then they showed us text messages between Cassie and Diddy from August of 2018.
Cassie claimed in the lawsuit that after Diddy violated her, that was the last time they spoke. She cut him off completely, but text messages from just 2 days later show her hitting up Diddy. All reasons for a friend's birthday party. And on top of that, she gave the wrong month for when it happened, probably to avoid those text messages exposing the real timeline.
Where he says to her, or she texts him with a heart, and this is like a day or two after they went to that dinner, and then he allegedly her. And sorry, is it loud? I hope it's not. She texted him with a heart, and he said, "I'm sorry that I've fallen off." Again, paraphrasing, "I didn't turn you on last night or the other day." And you know, she's responding, and they're having a conversation like all is well. And then they go to another friend's birthday party a few days later. So again, poking a lot of holes. And then there was something wild, a recording that we heard that I thought was super wild. And I didn't bring up what I'm about to tell you the other day because it wasn't, I don't know, I guess I didn't think it was important, but wow, now it's pretty crazy. And by the way, just going back to Cassie responding with, you know, we're corresponding with Diddy after the alleged, I don't want to get any hate for that. I'm sure that the state is going to put a doctor or a psychologist or psychiatrist on the stand testifying about trauma survivors and abuse and how they react. Just a side note.
Cassie had a boyfriend, but she met with Diddy for closure and didn't even tell him. To me, that's cheating. But she goes on to say that Diddy also forced himself on her that night. But 2 days later, she texted him with a heart emoji trying to link up. And to be honest, to me, that doesn't sound like somebody who's traumatized. But then, under direct, not even cross, they asked if she ever slept with him again. She said yes, voluntarily, and even went back to his place. Now, how does that line up with what she claimed happened? So while Cassie was in a relationship with Alex, who's now her husband, she was still messing around with Diddy. And this is after she called him the worst man she ever dealt with, said he had full control over her, and that she just wanted out. But instead of cutting him off, she went right back, voluntarily, cheated on Alex with the same dude she claimed she was trying to escape from. And her reasoning behind that? When asked why she went back to Diddy after she claims he assaulted her, Cassie said, "Well, we have been together for 10 years. Like, what? That's not really an excuse to me. Imagine if your girl cheats on you and she says, well, I was with my ex for 10 years. What do you expect? That's wild and not gonna fly in my household." But the crazy part, Alex, her man at the time, ended up staying with her. And this was before the settlement money hit too. So either it was love or he was just blind to it all. Cassie testified that during one of the times she was messing with Diddy while she was still with Alex, he FaceTimed her. Yeah, you heard that right. Alex was on FaceTime with her, not knowing she was in the middle of cheating. She later admitted that while that was happening, she was with Diddy. And when Alex eventually found out what was really going on, man punched a hole straight through the wall. That's how bad it hit him. Now, nobody's saying Diddy's a great guy. I think he's trash. But if you read these transcripts, these messages, the way Cassie acted, can we still say that he was trying to traffic her? I don't know. She was a willing participant in most that went down. Do I believe he hit her? Yeah. Should he do time for that? Of course. But she never called the cops. And now the statute of limitations are up. Meanwhile, she has a good man in Alex, but still ran back to Diddy. She was asking for freak-offs as birthday gifts. And to me, that don't sound like somebody being forced. And I ain't gonna lie, every man in Cassie's wake ain't looking that player to me. We got Kid Cudi, the NFL dude, and now this guy Alex, bro's still stuck around after that FaceTime incident. He even defended her online. And now that she's walking away with 30 million, I'm pretty sure he's locked in for good. So Alex puts out this statement like, over the past 5 days, the world has seen my wife's strength as she frees herself from her past. He goes on to talk about how proud he is of her, how he felt love and pain hearing her testimony. But let's keep it real. Bro's trying to secure that bag. This man is doing everything in his power to stay locked in just long enough to hit that 5-year marriage mark so he can cash in on half of that 30 million. Continues saying he felt anger toward the man who tried to break her, but ends it all poetic like, you didn't break her spirit, her smile, or the mother that plays silly games with our girls. You didn't break the woman who made me a better man. All right, bro. We see what's going on for real. Cassie was texting Diddy in late 2018, calling him her soulmate, upset that Diddy said the same thing about Kim Porter at her memorial, said he completed her. She couldn't live without him. Then months later, she married Alex. They'd already been together for a while. Bro, how do you defend that? Now, don't get it twisted. Of course she was a victim when Diddy got physical, and he should pay for that. But the rest, she wasn't forced. She kept going back, asking for it, staying involved. She didn't walk away because of trauma. She walked away when she realized Kim Porter was the one Diddy really loved. That's when she ran back to Alex. So let's be real. Cassie is not innocent in this whole situation at all. So Alex keeps it going, saying, I didn't save Cassie. She saved herself. Saying otherwise disrespects the painful work she's done to heal. She broke free from manipulation, violence, and threats on her own. All I did was love her the way she's loved me. Now her life is filled with love, laughter, and family. He says that chapter is closed. They won't be speaking on it any further and ask for privacy as they welcome their son into what they now call a safer world, thanks to her. Now let's be honest, they ran off with 30 million. And yeah, they finessed it, but I'm not even mad. That's just what happened. Now let's be real. They walked away with 30 million just off the strength of public backlash. And now they're basically saying, we got the bag. We don't owe y'all nothing. Don't ask us for anything. But hold up. When y'all needed the internet to apply pressure, y'all had no problems leaking court docs, lawsuits, and statements to TMZ and every other blog that would push Diddy in a corner to force his hand. Now that the check cleared, it's all silence. Y'all got y'all money and dipped. Let's be real again. The court of public opinion is the reason that lit that fire. And now y'all just want to say, deuces, we rich? But like my last video, I said that 30 million that Diddy had to pay out to Cassie was pretty much like restitution. If you violate a woman that bad on numerous amounts of occasions and you're worth $1 billion, yeah, 30 million's restitution should be fine. In that instance, I can say shout out Cass for doing her big one. But him fighting trafficking charges later is wild to me. But hey, if you made it this far, click on the left side of your screen to see why Cassie's testimony from the day before that wasn't good either. And also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but...
Fuck that little 10. I'm maxed out.